my 1980 Lake Placid pin. Proudly, how great was that having the Olympics in New York? Anyway, he is a Delaware County native and a graduate of the University of Colorado. Worked for the Ski Education Foundation before becoming Assistant General Manager at Whiteface, and he is the CEO now of ORDA. We are delighted to have him with us today. Please, a warm Chamber of Commerce welcome for our guest speaker, Ted Blazer. Ted.
I'm not sure how I'm going to do this because I'm going to have to read that at the same time, but you know, I had a beautiful drive down this morning. I stayed in Albany last night, and on the way down I saw one meadow, there was some deer over there, and it kind of reminds me of the story that I heard. This father buck with a big rack was walking with his son, who just had a little spike horn, and he had his arm around him, and he said, "Son, there's two things in life that are certain, death and taxidermy." I'd like to, first of all, I'd like to introduce us at the table with us today. It's, in our marketing department is Jonathan King and Joe McCracken. And the person who's been named as the general manager, Tom Tarr at belleayre. Yay, Tom. And Liz Mazzetti, the marketing director for us up in Lake Placid at ORDA. And also a board member, John Parody. And also over here is Joe Kelly. He came with, he's our vice chairman, and he came with Mel. So nice to have you here as well. I also saw a partner in snow this morning. I think C.B. Slutsky is here. There he is. Okay, so if I point this, it's going to go, right? Down. Down? Thank you very much. Okay. Catskills. I grew up right there, South Court, right? And of course, our new area right there is belleayre Mountain, so it wasn't too far away. This is our farm. I grew up on a dairy farm, and this is on part of my grandfather had the farm. It was A.K. Tyler, and we had a little reunion this year, and all my aunts and uncles showed up. There's my mother. There's my aunt Andrea. She was a teacher in Margaretville. That's her first place where she taught, and her husband there, Alan Thompson, was from Margaretville also. So we have quite some roots in the area. My grandfather actually grew up in Roxbury and went over the hill to Rose's Brook, and that's where he had his first farm up there, and then he wandered down into South Courtright, and that's where we ended up. I grew up skiing at Scotch Valley. Everybody remember that? Something interesting right here, it says, "Two smooth slopes." I don't know what the other ones were like. Oh yeah. Actually, that little pond right there, the lake out in front, my father and grandfather made that. My grandfather lived on the other side of the street, my other grandfather, and that's called Blazer Pond. It's the headwaters of the Delaware River, West Branch. I keep going the wrong way, don't I? Okay. I thought I'd tell you a little bit about the venues that are part of our organization and how belleayre now is going to fit into that. So back in 1982, when we were created right after the Olympic Games, this is Whiteface Mountain, has the greatest vertical drop in the east. And also there's a highway that goes to the summit that's operated in the summertime, the Veterans Memorial Highway. We do world-class events, not only at Whiteface, but at all the venues. This is just a sample of the slide on your left. There is a World Cup event, freestyle event, and we're going to have that again this year. We're going to have Stars on Ice this year in December, and Dorothy Hamill's actually going to be part of that, so it's going to be fun and exciting. We just finished a World Cup in bobsled skeleton over the weekend, and we have World Cup luge again this year, among all the other events that we're going to be doing. We also have Gore Mountain, which is down in Warren County, and in North Creek, and it's a sizable mountain, and it keeps getting bigger all the time. The Olympic Sports Complex, where we had our bobsled event this weekend, also has 50 kilometers of cross-country trails and biathlon, and very, very busy. We started with ice there a month ago already. The Olympic Jumping Complex with the 90 and 120 meter jumps on the left there. Also is the freestyle area right there. And summer and winter, so there's training going on there all the time. Actually, I've been talking to the staff about getting a little junior jumping program going on at Belleayre also, so we can have something for the kids to do at night, which will be exciting. Oops. The Olympic Center, which has the speed skating oval where Eric Heiden won 5 gold medals in the 1980 games, and the Olympic Center in the back with 3 sheets of ice. It's very busy. Hockey's going on all the time and figure skating. We, of course, you know, you heard of Miracle on Ice, and John actually came up with a nice one that we're going to use for Belleayre, which is Miracle on the Mountain. Good one. We also built a brand new conference center this year, and it's been working out very well for us. So that's that package. We also own the U.S. Olympic Training Center, which is where all the athletes are housed and train and participate. We leased that to the United States Olympic Committee. And very proud of the Olympic medalists we had this last year at the last Olympics, Andrew Wybrecht. So, Belleayre, right up the street. What a beautiful view that is. They have a lot of things going on. Obviously, you know about all the summer cultural events that take place. We're heading into the season now where it's winter family fun. And been talking over the snowmaking coming up here. Looks like the weather's a little temperate until we get past the weekend, and then we're gonna get going. And we're certainly shooting to open up for Thanksgiving weekend. What's new? What's new at Belleayre? Well, one of the things that we were thinking about, you know, we all got together and we said, gosh, what can we do to make a huge impact this year? So we thought we'd make the mountain with more vertical. Okay, you got it. Good. Well, we couldn't do that, so it's great the way it is, right? Yes. So, well, one thing that's interesting is for all the season pass holders that used to have to go and get a ticket, now you can just put on your duds and go right to the left, and we're going to scan your ticket, and up you go. So that's a new system, and I think it's going to make life a lot easier, not only for the season pass holders, but for everybody. There's going to be public Wi-Fi, of course, in the lodge, which is quite a hurdle. It took us a while to get it up in our other facilities, but there we go. 2 brand new piston bully snowcats. They just arrived yesterday, so that's going to make life a lot better. We've got energy efficient snow guns. They're going to arrive probably later this week or early next week, and we'll mount those. Now, they're the ones that we got were the pole guns. We're looking at hopefully getting some of the electric ones down below for next year as well. In the Discovery Lodge, we put down some new flooring, and this is what that room with the fireplace that was used to store light bulbs in. We're going to have a fire back in there again. Yes. And we're moving the bar from the cafeteria area into that room. So the kids can eat out there without the bar activity. We can have the bar and the fireplace and all that kind of going in that area. Well, you know, we've been absent for a little while at some of the activities, and I'm going to go through 3 of them right now, but the guys are up at the Albany Ski Show last weekend, and right in the same row with the other ski areas from the Catskills, right across the street from ski areas in New York, and it was very nice to have them back, and everybody was thrilled, I think, to have Belleayre back in the saddle again at the ski show. There's coming up December 4th down in New York City, what we do is we invite a lot of writers to come to an event. And this year we also invited ski shop owners from the New York City area to come also. And it's an opportunity for all the ski areas to talk about what's new this year. Belleayre is going to be back again, which is great. We're glad to have them. In the last Saturday in January, we go down and we make snow in Central Park. And then we invite, it's called a Rail Jam, and we work with New York City Parks and Recreation. And we invite people to come in, and normally we get about 30,000 people on a Saturday. And we bring down cross-country skis, but we also have the ski areas there. And Belleayre will be back again so that we can greet all those people and talk to them about coming right up to the Catskills. We've been, since July actually, the marketing team has been getting together and talking about how we're going to move things forward. And Liz, along with the marketing team, have been meeting with the lodging properties to figure out what's the best way to put the packages together so that we can entice the travelers to come up and get the stay and ski packages. And we've had to do some adjusting, but we do that. We have the ability that we look at whether the weather's changing or market trends are changing, or if we get input from properties, we can adjust quickly, just like we do at our other venues, and it doesn't take a long time to do it. We can do it almost rapidly. We've got new promotional programs in development, which how soon are we going to be talking about these? Pretty soon, right?
Very soon.
Very soon, okay. So keep your ear to the ground and look at the Facebook page. We're looking for more friends on there too, because we've kind of let it out there that something's coming. So the transition. A lot of these words they go through my mind. How are we going to form things? How are we going to move forward? Cooperation and the summer and the winter, resources, the loyalty. It's interesting how we're melding together now. But how did this all happen? It happened because the governor's initiative, Governor Cuomo, put together this committee as SAGE Commission, and they were looking at efficiencies in government. And the name kept coming up, Belleayre and the Olympic Authority, and so I think we're a great experiment for the state. And we're going to make the governor proud of how great this is going to work together, putting Belleayre with our other resorts, because you'll see what we're all about here. It's very simple what our mission is. But Belleayre is going to be fitting into this picture, which is the Olympic Authority and all the venues, all the resources that we have. In the region, how it's going to play out in the region. It's not just Belleayre, it's the region in the state, Mid-Atlantic, and the East Coast. Belleayre is going to be part of all of that. The past is the past. We take what's good, we adjust where necessary, we're going to move forward, and we're not going to look back. Operational philosophy, customer is number one. Friendly, knowledgeable, cooperative staff. Respect for the environment. Our facilities are in protected areas, like Whiteface and Gormouth and Hovenberg. They're all in intensive use, forest preserve land, just in the Catskills. We're going to make sure we take care of that land for our future generations and do it thoughtfully. Clean facilities. Everybody loves cleanliness, right? We're going to increase revenues and control expenses, and we're always going to be looking for new opportunities, and we're going to be creative. And our focus right now is to get open, make some snow. We're going to groom it perfectly, provide a fun environment, and we're going to grow the business. Now, we have some neighbors, and I'm really glad to see these here. I've already been talking with the other ski areas in the Catskills. And one thing I think it's very important to know is Plattekill is not our competition, nor is Hunter or Wyndham, and vice versa. It doesn't do any good to try to take 1,000 skiers from one and 1,000 skiers and push them around. Our competition is New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New England. That's where we've got to make an impact there. And down in New York City metro area, that's where we're going to go, because all these ski areas need to punch it up, and we're all going to survive together, and we're going to grow the business together, and every ship is going to go up. We're not going to pick on each other. We're going to go down there, and we're going to keep what's ours and keep it in New York State. And early next week, we're going to get together with the other 3 ski areas, and we're going to figure out a program and a promotion that we all can participate in. And I think it's going to be very exciting. So, we're going to work together for the Catskills. Yes, Belleayre is the mountain that we're going to be managing, but we're all in it together. And we're going to do the best job we can at Belleayre, and we're going to be partners with our other partners in snow. Economic success and family fun. That's our motto. Yes, any questions? I'll be happy. Yes, sir.
Hi, Ted. My name is Tom White. I'm from the Coalition to Save Belleayre, and as you may know, for years we've advocated for a more appropriate operator for Belleayre, and one that understands the, just the critical nature it plays in the cultural and economic well-being of, our corner of Ulster, Delaware County, and one who's firmly rooted and understands tourism and what it takes to draw and keep tourists. So, on behalf of the coalition, we welcome you, we look forward to working with you, and we think this is a great move. We're very enthused. Thank you.
Thank you. I'd just like to add that we just hired a new finance director at ORDA, and of all places, he's from Stamford, New York, and Liz is from Saugerties. So we've got a lot of blood, local blood in our team. Any questions? Yes, sir.
Is the over 70 ski club going to be continued?
Over 70 club.
Oh,
No, it's like our other areas, there's a fee now for 70 plus.
Minimal.
Yes. Management. Yes.
Yeah.
I write for guidebooks, 2 guidebooks for the region. I've been in print for 25 years. I'm very, very pleased to hear, finally, because I go to that thing in December and you're never there.
Where? In New York City? Always there.
Well, I never see you. I only see Hunter and Cinda and everyone else.
Oh, you mean Belleayre?
Yeah.
Right. They,
Only 2 years we have.
it's been a couple of years.
Okay,
Yeah.
but I guess my question is this. I travel all over, and one of the things that strikes me is that I ski at Wyndham, I ski at Hunter, I ski at Belleayre, and I don't ski anymore, but I did. But why can't there be like a ticket for people coming from New Jersey or who could ski like one day, one place, one day, like to when I go to Vermont, like sometimes I'll go to different places.
Where's Vermont? That's a nice, great suggestion. I think that's, we're going to be talking about that and other opportunities that we might have. But yeah, we're going to have it's going to be a very open and I think exciting and cooperative meeting, so we can discuss those topics and some others.
In the back?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you said you were working out packages with local lodging.
Yes.
Many of my friends in New York don't have a car, and I'm wondering if you're working out a package like with Amtrak and buses and stuff to get people right to their destination.
There is an Adirondack Trailways package
Okay.
at this point. So you
Jonathan is saying there's an Adirondack Trailways package,
And
but
you
Yeah,
can't
Lisa
provide-
Berger?
And you can't provide service to the mountains.
Yeah.
So there is a way to do it.
why don't, maybe a good idea after the meeting is over, maybe you guys can get together and discuss that.
Any other questions?
Alberto
Yes.
Tamba, do you have anything to say?
Right.
Yeah, hi. I'm Brian with Soundwater. It's hopefully get a lot more snow this year, please. And then, but during the summer, all the mountains used to have a lot of things going on. Is all that going to continue, I assume, underwater?
You mean the cultural things that have been going on and the festivals? And yeah, we're gonna, I mean, that's been the cornerstone of the summer activities, and it's very important to the area. So sure, we're excited about that.
Thank you.
Yes, what about the employees of Bel Air? I've heard some concern that they don't know exactly where their job is, or whether they're gonna be cut in salary. And some of the employees have come to me and asked me about, you know, they're not secure about their jobs there.
And what do you do?
I'm a town councilman in
Town
Shandaken.
councilman, okay. You know, we went through this in 1982 when the town of North Elba employees and the Whiteface was with DEC, and there was that transfer, and it takes a time for adjustment. And the same thing in 1984 when Gore Mountain employees that were DEC were transferred over to ORDA. So I think there's going to be a period of time where there's some uncertainty, but we're going to try to provide the leadership where we want people to be comfortable, and there's going to be changes, but that's why the governor has asked us to step in, and we'll do the best we can, and we'll try to, with the jobs, we need to promote jobs because it's important to the region, and we need to keep the ski area going. But there's no question we do operate a little differently than the way the DEC does. It's going to take some time to sort out.
I had one other question about the youth skiing. We always had youth skiing in the town of Shandaken, packages for our, part of our rec committee, where the youth could go and ski at special discounted rates. And that's not available this year.
Well, I think that Liz is working with Rob and
The youth
others.
programs,
Yeah.
we've pretty much kept similar to what they've been in the past.
Okay.
What we've done is change the ability for adults to get in on the youth program. We want to encourage youth skiing for our hotels. We've created some savvy packages that allow basically a ski-free, stay-free during non-holiday time periods. And also 6 and under are skiing for free this year at Bel Air, again, to encourage families and families with younger children.
Great.
Yes,
And
sir.
if you need any more details, Alex Jarrett will
Okay.
have all of that information. We'll hook her up with you for sure.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Regard to the note that was on the board, increase revenue, reduce expenses. What do you have a plan in place, what you're gonna do in case you had another terrible year like you had in 2011? Do you have a backup plan to increase revenues during those periods?
Well,
Working on one, or should I say, working on.
yeah, I think we have the ability to adjust where we have to, and without a lot of red tape. And if the weather turns, then we control how much of the resort is open, and the use of electricity and that kind of thing. Those years, we all went through them, and we've weathered them. And the plans, we always hope for the best, but we downsize where we have to adjust to changes in weather or changes in the economy, like a business.
The reason I asked that question, I know what you do at Placid, and you ship, if skiing is bad, you got a facility to ski, ice skate and get people in there, which raises revenue. But I just wondered if you had, again, back to the original question, you have a plan to raise revenues during these horrible periods like you had last year.
Well, I think we're gonna be developing, and listen, we're just getting started.
I know you're.
So I don't have all the answers, I apologize, and I think we will develop them as our team works closer together. This is how far we are. I signed the agreement on the 15th of October, and tomorrow is the day that the employees are transferred. So tomorrow is really the start of everything and working together. So, good point, and it's always in the back of our minds how we have to adjust to those tough times.
Okay, question back?
Can you speak specifically to any capital improvements or improvements in ancillary services like the food service, bar service as far as Bel Air is concerned?
Well, one thing that we did do this year, and certainly it's a tough time to start that kind of work now, but there was a demo center, I believe, downstairs, and we've taken that wall out there, and we're not going to be doing the demo center anymore, which has allowed for more room in the lower cafeteria in the upper lodge. So that's one change. Actually, Center Plate is the concessionaire at Bel Air, and just happens to be our partner also in all our other venues. So we've had several meetings with them moving forward, what we're going to do with a new arrangement and new contract with them. And the relationship that we have with them up north is they've always, we've gone to them, they've invested in capital projects, in lodge projects, that make things better for the customer in food service, beverage service, and other things like that. So we plan to move forward, roll that out also with center plate at Bel Air.
CB?
Thank you. This is Schleswig from Mountain. I just want to take this opportunity to welcome Ted and Order into the area, and Hunter, we'll be looking forward to working with you.
We need that also.
I worked in the ski industry about 15 years, a while back. And you brought up how it's all about that state to the east that you gotta work, not, whatever that one was called. But anyway, it always was in my head that you're always, all the mountains here have always fought against each other for one more ski. You know, and work for 1 year together and then fight again. And the bottom line is that the non-professional skiers that want a family, outing, they're gonna spend all their money, they're gonna go to a town where they wanna be able to walk around a little town, they wanna go to different ski slopes because they're only on the lower hills and that's what they like, they want nice dinners, all these things, and so they go to Vermont because that's what they've got. And if this area could work, if the four mountains could ever work together for real, which I don't believe they're going to, I mean, this is history, but anyway, there's your answer, there's your skiers. Your skiers, 60% of the skiers are going to Vermont and New Hampshire, and they can stop 2.5 hours earlier. I have friends that race, and they live in Maryland, and they have a house in Virginia. I'm sorry, in Vermont. So they haul up every Friday night and drive right on by us.
We're going to work in earnest
That's
for a
the real,
partnership.
that's where your money is.
Listen, I've been the CEO for 16 years at the Olympic Authority, I'll be 17 years shortly, and with ORDA since 1986. The previous CEO was there for 12 years. I'm embedded into this. I don't see myself going anywhere right off the bat, and I'm committed to this. That's all I can say.
Yeah, okay, there's the money. Money drives by.
Joe Kelly.
Ted, having gone up to Lake Placid and toured the Olympic facilities over the last couple of months, it is very impressive. Those of you who haven't gotten up there and seen what they've done up there and what Ted has done, it's pretty amazing stuff. And with the Olympics, and I actually went up to that freestyle jumping complex over the summer, and if you see it on television, it's one thing. If you see it in person and you see somebody 60, 70 feet up in the air doing flips, twists, and everything coming down the pool, it's pretty amazing. But I saw tremendous synergism between what goes on up there and maybe what we can do in the future in Bel Air. Do you have any ideas on that Olympic aura and the whole Olympic spirit, incorporating Bel Air into that?
Well, certainly we have a sports development program. Brad Clark is our director of that, and we've already discussed some kind of programs we can put in place down at Bel Air. I think one of them was been talking to U.S. ski jumping officials about getting a small jump that I talked about earlier at Bel Air, so that we can get young kids, like Liz was a ski jumper, get young kids to take flight with long skis on, something different. I don't know what form or shape it'll take, but certainly if we can get some young kids that are interested in certain activities, and then we can have them go up to Lake Placid to the Olympic Training Center and perhaps get a taste of that. I think that things like that will be developing as we move forward. Certainly, it's a wonderful proving ground down here. It's a great facility, summer and winter, for a lot of activities on it, which are conducive to a lot of the things that we do with our kids up north.
Jerry?
I have a question. As a resident of Shandaken for the last 10 years, I've been hearing an awful lot about resort development. And it has political connotations. So I can understand if your answer is brief. However, is there any future in this?
I haven't, it's early on that topic. I haven't been involved with it, but I will be getting involved with it, so that hopefully next time that we talk, I can give you a real answer. I don't have an answer regarding that project.
Glenn?
Ted, just a quickie, is there any room for any kind of a hockey facility at Bel Air?
Well, you know, there's conversations floating around about things like that, and they're not definitive. You know, hockey rinks, you need you need kids, and I'm sure, what's the closest one, Kingston? Is there one here? Saugerties. I don't know, we'd have to really take a close look at it. Right now, for us to manage it, we can manage lands that are designated to us through a legislative process. So we can't really go off-site to do something like that, to own it or to, you know, to build something. But I think we need to talk about those kind of things to see the opportunities that the kids need in the area and, you know, how we could fill the rink.
Time for a couple more, maybe, if you did.
For the last 6 to 10 years, Belleayre has worked with, or Ontiora High School has worked with Belleayre to host their drug and alcohol-free graduation program for their seniors. Will this change being under you, or will you still be working with the local community?
I think you'll just deal with Tom and the staff about those kind of issues.
We see that continuing.
Great, thank you very much.
That's the Belleayre Bash, right?
Belleayre Bash, big thing,
A
yep.
lot of years. Good job.
Two more?
Yes, Lori.
To follow up on somebody else's question about development, although you don't have any specifics, what's your philosophy about sustainability and being mindful of the environment and not to overdo it?
Well, you know, we live that every day. We don't actually manage or have any housing developments that ORA's responsible for. But we certainly work in concert with others around us that do that. Our job is to make sure that what we're managing we do in a proper way. And the beautiful thing I think about the Catskill Park and the Adirondack Park is that there's regulations in place to allow for thoughtful development. And thoughtful development, I think, is just it comes with time in certain areas, and certainly it's beautiful in that area. And if that happens and it's done the right way, then I think we can coexist together.
One more, Mike.
Yeah, I'm a new business owner in the area as well, and what are you doing besides the website, to promote the rest of the area as a package? Besides lodging, I'm talking about, you know, pointing people back into towns where there's, you know, other shopping and stuff like that to make it more.
It's more specific. I can't really give a specific answer on that. I would have to, you know, have the marketing team tell you what exactly is going on. My brush is a little broader, and I apologize for that. But I know that, you know, obviously we want to be an area that helps to promote economic development in the area and the businesses around and point people in directions. The economic impact from our operations before Belleayre, a study we did, was $347 million a year. We want to see that grow now with Belleayre being part of the package.
Thanks very much. Thank you. Ted will stick around for a while. Again, the marketing team is here also, so some of those specific questions, maybe Jonathan, you guys can talk about. We thank you all for coming. I'm going to try this one more time. Hudson Valley Foundation for Youth Help has out in the lobby these wonderful neck gaiters and a pair of gloves to help out the kids in our area. Thanks for coming. We'll see you next month on a great